Welcome to Comic Core Daily. I'm your host, Dru Manchu. This is your daily source of everything Comic Core. We got a little bit of Instagram shout outs. We got a little bit of news we'll react to. I'll put together a top 5 list of some nonsense for you. And it's Tuesday, which is Haiku's Day. So it's going to be coming to you's day. And you better be ready for it because we're talking about the greatest graphic novel of all time, The Watchmen. I've also got a question of the day for you folks, a chance to win some free comics. And we're going to take a quick commercial break in the middle of everything to make sure that things are paid for and the lights stay on. We've got a guest host today, third-time guest host. He's like practically the official guest host of The Daily Show. It's John Comics with Kids. John, what's going on, buddy?
Man, any day when I brush my teeth is going to be a red letter day right there.
All right, well.
It's quarantine living, baby.
You still better be brushing your teeth. Come on, man.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you.
Gingivitis knows no bounds.
Nobody wants to go to a dentist right now, I'll tell you.
That's true. Nobody ever wants to really go to a dentist. It's kind of the worst thing that you could possibly do is go to the dentist. John, we're going to start off with some nerd news. We're going to jump right into it, okay? Nerd news, folks. Nerd news is brought to you today by a friend of the channel. I absolutely love this channel. I built them a little intro bumper, so we're going to go ahead and give them some shine before we get into the news that they brought us. Over at the Lords of the Long Box, he brought us this report just yesterday. Some news about John Krasinski in the role of Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four as featured in the MCU. People have been speculating about this forever. People have been getting little news bites here and there. Oh, John Krasinski had a meeting. He had a meeting over here. He's been meeting all week, apparently, with Kevin Feige. And not only is he set to be the star of the Fantastic Four, he's set to maybe direct other movies for the MCU. Now, his movie, The Quiet Place, or A Quiet Place, or The Quiet Place, or Quiet Place, I don't know what it's really called, but it's quiet, and it's a place. Now, that was a great movie, and the sequel's coming out, and it's got a lot of fanfare behind it. Just want to give credit to TiVo for bringing this all to our attention via Mikey Sutton. Everybody knows that that's where you go get your news for the MCUs, and they got plenty of views. But if you want to give them another view, this main story is going to be linked down in the description below, as well as a link to the channel Lords of the Long Box. If you're not following them, what are you doing with your life? But again, we're talking about John Krasinski. His wife, Emily Blunt, is also linked to the Invisible Woman character, but the reports say that she's not as keen on signing a multi-picture deal. But John Krasinski is down to be a part of the MCU and also direct films. And he's being linked at this point to the Midnight Suns via rumor. Nothing concrete on that yet. John, what do you think about John Krasinski in the MCU? I can't hear you, John.
I think this is an awesome casting idea. I think everybody likes John. How do you not like John Krasinski? Whether you watched him from The Office or the new Jack Ryan show he's doing, or like you're saying, A Quiet Place, which is a really good movie. I think he's an eminently likable and interesting guy who does seem like he's got some thoughts going on up in his head, which is what you want from your Reed Richards. He also, with his, I don't know if you've seen his Some Good News YouTube channel. He's got this sort of like Family Guy quality that I think would be great. I think the challenge will be playing the sort of nastier sides of Reed Richards, the Illuminati elements of Reed Richards that you don't necessarily connect to John Krasinski as being, selfish or making the hard decision that ruins people's lives. Some of those elements, the father who screws up kind of things.
I think you saw some of that range in A Quiet Place. But again, this is going to be going a little bit out of his wheelhouse. I think the real question I mean, this is a no-brainer casting decision for both of these parts, and I think that there's been a lot of talk of Zac Efron for Human Torch, which I think you skew younger. You want him to be a Tom Hardy type, or I'm sorry, a Tom not Hiddleston, Tom Holland type.
Sure.
You want Johnny and Spider-Man to be able to play off of each other.
Totally.
I think that age range is something you want to be looking for the Human Torch, especially if you're going to have them mix and match. If you're going to go with like a 60s Fantastic Four that were kind of lost to time, there's a lot of different ways you can go with the story. Fantastic Four are known for space travel, also for alternate dimension travel, time travel. They've done just about everything when it comes to science fiction. So folding them to the MCU might be a little bit more easy than you think.
And Comics Misexplained says Rainn Wilson for Namor.
That is actually not a bad idea. I think that's hilarious. And, I want to get into this chat because the chat is growing. We had some folks who were in the chat before things started. Chat, let me know, who do you think you'd cast as the Thing? Because I think this is my biggest question. Everybody's saying John Cena. That's what you're seeing online. I think that's a terrible idea. You don't cast a guy who's big. It's going to be a CG character if it's done right. So, who do you cast as the Thing? I want somebody with a Brooklyn accent. Magoo Fitzfarter was the first in the chat today. Comic Man Andy hanging out, as well as Gomer. Our friend Jaden Reindl and Scott Evans were in the chat early. Yule Carter, what's going on, Yule? Good to see you. Comics Misexplained was in here hanging out, chopping it up with the Stream Elements robot. Everybody loves the bot. Good to see Mike Kimball in here as well. Backseat Driver. If you guys take a look down in the description below, you'll see that Backseat Driver is going to be featured on today's Instagram segment. So shout out to Backseat Driver. Kenneth Bird is in the chat, as well as Tacoma Comics. Good to see you, Tacoma. Comics on the Mind is in here, as well as Chris Barrett. You know it's a party because Chris Barrett showed up. Phil Ailing's in here as well. Good to see everybody in here. Chaos in Comics is in here. He thinks that Thorough Q Burrow should play the Thing. I'm actually behind that 110%.
I would be totally behind that. His voice.
I mean, you're just going to get a giant orange rock monster in CG trying to sell me a near mint copy of a modern book.
Well, and I think like you're saying, it's definitely going to be CG. They're not going to go the Michael Chiklis route, right? They're going to do this, if they do it right, I think, as a mocap for sure kind of thing. And I think so. What you want is the gravitas, the voice, right?
Yeah, I think that you're looking for the voice, and you're looking for a character actor who can be funny and also intimidating and serious all at the same time. I think Ray Liotta would be a good choice. Who knows how they'd get him to do it. Or if a voice acting gig is something that he'd be into. I'd love that if they did the mocap as well.
More than likely, you're going to get the backstory where you have them playing the character before. So then you do need someone with enough of a look to pull it off, unless you're going to get like a different actor to play them before they go the rock route,
Yeah, I think that you're going to definitely have to get a Ben Grimm before the incident. At least at some point, that character has to be cast, and has to be, when he looks into the mirror and sees himself kind of deal. You can do a whole lot of headspace drama there. And that would be in service of the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing. I think that all these are good ideas. Chaos wants to know why we're talking about this, because there's no new comics to talk about, Chaos, and I'm doing a daily show. And this news just dropped about Mr. Fantastic is basically a lock at this point for John Krasinski. So that's why we're talking about it. I wish we had more to talk about. Anybody who wants to submit topics for the show can do so in the comments below, and I'll give you an entry into the giveaway, which you just got to answer the question of the day. But now you can just leave a comment suggesting a topic. And we'll probably do it because I'm out of ideas, gang. It's been like 7 days and I'm out of ideas. I don't know what you people want from me at this point. Well, we're going to move on, John, from this fan casting, and we're going to do a countdown of my fan casts later on in the show. But first, we're going to take a look at Instagram and some cool stuff that I happen to find there. As soon as I find a little video. John, it's Tuesday. You know what that means.
Top variants, baby.
Top variant Tuesday. Man, I searched top variant Tuesday. This is JDYNIAR, Junior. It's like JD Nia Jr. I don't know. He's from Cleveland, Ohio. And this is a Magnolia variant. This is the foil variant. I think it's a convention exclusive, but a really dope variant, The Death of Jason Todd. Totally dig that.
Came out gorgeous.
Link is in the description below. Give him a follow, man. This was that collector guy. He's a member of the Fiend Club by checking out his logo. Some really dope variants here. Got the Silver Surfer and Galactus. Silver Surfer hanging out with the Cosmic Ghost Rider. I really dig these variants. John, what do you think about these?
They capture the Silver Surfer really, really well on both of these. So bitchin'. I just love it. Yeah, it looks so cool.
Yeah, that's the collector guy. Link is in the description below. Give him a follow. Tell him that Dru Manchu and the Comic Corps sent you, and that John co-signed. Shout us all out. Ryan Comic Guy posted this as a 9.8 slab of that variant, the incentive variant for the Immortal Hulk #2. This thing is absolute fire.
That's gorgeous.
Every angle.
Oh man, the eyes
is still heating up.
Oh my god,
it's a beautiful cover, and it's a fantastic story as well. That's the one drawback of having that slab. So I kind of want to flip it open and see what happens. We also get Backseat Driver, friend of the show, Backseat Driver 5280. Link is in the description below. Give him a follow.
Love Once.
This is Once and Future. It's the one per store, I believe, for #7. Fantastic cover. Fantastic story. Fantastic Instagram account. Give Backseat Driver a follow. You won't regret it. We also got Marvel here from Pretty Dead Collectors. Like half of these Marvel books had really sexy covers. This is kind of inappropriate, but man, do I love it.
Definitely makes you lean in a little. Okay, what's
right? Right. What's going on with them eyeballs?
She can't say my eyes are up here, right?
No, the eyes are wherever you want those eyes to be. I tell you what, though, Pretty Dead Collectors has some pretty cool stuff on Instagram. Link is in the description below. Give Pretty Dead Collectors a follow. And last but not least, The Damned Comics brought us these 3 Dark Knights metal variants.
It looks like Perillo, huh?
Obviously bought the set. Got the trade dress, the Virgin, and the sketch variant. For the same cover, some people got to have all 3, man. And The Damned Comics is an account worth following. Follow The Damned Comics.
Yeah, it's
creepy. Link is in the description below. Anybody wants to be a part of Top Variant Tuesday, all you got to do is tag your pictures on Tuesday, Top Variant Tuesday, and with a hashtag Comic Corps, I will find you. Just going to say that I will find you and I will feature you because I'm lazy. And if that's the first thing I do and you're the first thing that pops up, click screen grab. I'm going to go ahead and put it on here. Super duper easy. John, let's check in with that chat. See how things are going in there. While we did that, we got like 50 comments while we were doing that segment there. So I'm happy to see
Del Auto covers at the end there.
Del Auto covers. Okay. Del Auto covers. Yeah, man. Shout out to Backseat Driver 5280 as well. Follow him on the YouTubes as well as on the Instagram. Thanks for bringing us that cover today. He's got 21 watching, man.
He's got a big unboxing from CGC coming soon. So you guys sub him up. You might catch a sweet grade reveal episode.
There you go. Magoo Fitzfarter says, where's the Flash comics? Because Flash is the greatest superhero ever. I can't say I agree with you there, but if you hashtag your variants, Top Variant Tuesday, and hashtag Comic Core, and they happen to be Flash comics, they're going to be more Flash on the show, man. You just help me. Chaos says, fuck my life, just saying. Hey, man. Fuck your life indeed. And he made fun of me for liking Campbell. I mean, come on, Campbell's good. I didn't make fun of you. All right, gang, we're going to move on to our next segment, which is a commercial break. Hey, Comic Core viewers. Do you want a free mystery box of comics? Well, that's good because we're having a giveaway. It's super easy to enter. Just leave a comment on any Comic Core Daily video answering the question of the day. Want extra entries? Well, you can vote in the Modern Men poll and leave a comment explaining your choice. This giveaway is open only to U.S. residents 18 and up, and you must be subscribed to the Comic Core. We'll compile all the entries and spin the wheel on the Friday, April 24th episode of Comic Core Roundtable, and you must be in the chat to win. Printed rules and instructions will be found in the description of this video. Good luck and happy commenting. MainFrameComicCon, April 25th and 26th, an absolutely free 2-day online interactive con experience that you can enjoy right from the comfort and safety of your own home. Celebrity guest interviews, comic industry professionals, cosplay contests, and so much more. Check out the website at MainFrameComicCon.com and be sure to follow us on Instagram at MainFrameComicCon for our ever-growing list of guests and emerging schedule of events. That's April 25th and 26th, Saturday and Sunday, 2 days, absolutely free. MainFrameComicCon. We're bringing the convention to you.
This is Andy.
Excitement's building.
This is Thursday.
I'm nervous. Breathe with me, guys.
And this is Andy on Thursday. That's right, we gave Andy his own show.
No way. No way.
Yes way, Andy.
Holy sheet.
Holy sheet indeed. Andy Given Thursday. Live every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, only on the Comic Core.
You've been waiting for it. Promised it. And now it's here! Modern Men presents The Dark Knight Returns. Only on the Comic Core. All right, gang, you see that not only do we have shows coming galore, we also have the Comic Core presents The Dark Knight Returns on Modern Men on 420. Get all blazed up and come and see it. I can't guarantee you that it's gonna be good, but I can guarantee you that if you partake, it will be better. John, I'm excited for MainFrameComicCon as well. I just want to shout that out one more time. Link is in the description below. Follow them on the Instagram. I don't know who's watching this show that didn't follow them on Instagram. I know that 2 less people are watching the show since we went to commercial break and they can't skip the ads. They don't get my artistic vision for this show.
Hey, you guys got a new ad. You got a new ad. Several.
You know what? There's a new bumper in there. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
just
and
their loyal followers. They know exactly that what's going on here.
Right. I did animation for that this morning, guys. Come on, I'm breaking my back. At Biggie Shack went live yesterday, and he's like, "Man, somebody make some content. I'm bored." I'm like, "Bitch, I've been making content every day. What do you want from me?" All right, gang. Speaking of content, today is Tuesday, and not only is that Top Variant Tuesday, John, not only is that Top Variant Tuesday, but the Tuesday is the day for haikus. And what are we going to review but The Watchmen, the quintessential graphic novel, best selling, best reviewed, culturally important. Let's take a look at what we thought about the Watchmen. Watchmen is epic. Best hero deconstruction. Big blue dong warning. Big blue dong warning. That's what I have to say about all these books, man. These books are great, but there's lots of wieners in them.
It's a wang fest.
Wang fest has been the theme of the haikus so far.
That's hilarious.
All right, let's get into the meat of the episode, John. We got a countdown to get to. We're going to count down my top 5. Top 5 fan. Let's go get it. Number 5, Tom Hardy as Logan, the Wolverine. Now, this isn't news that people want Tom Hardy to play Logan. It's also not news that he's already Venom. What are you going to do there with that situation? But Tom Hardy is the perfect choice for Wolverine. He's gruff, he's rough, he's pretty enough, and he's also short. That's what we need in our Wolverine. We need him to be short. For Christ's sakes, just pick a short Wolverine. That's all I want. If he's not short, if he's like a 7-foot tall monster, that's fine. CG him to be short. He just needs to be short. And that, in short, is why I want Tom Hardy to play Wolverine. John, what do you think about Tom Hardy as Wolverine?
I've always liked Tom Hardy in pretty much everything. So I'm down for that, absolutely. And I do agree that that's the hurdle is that he's already Venom. So that's going to be the big challenge or hiccup. I think it's hilarious the people who make the memes with Danny DeVito as Wolverine, because that's just hilarious and spot on as well. But yeah, no, Tom Hardy's perfect.
I don't dislike the idea of Danny DeVito as Wolverine. The original casting plan for the first X-Men was to have Bob Hoskins play Wolverine.
Yeah,
not a terrible idea either when you think about it. When you really think about it, it could work. All right, we're going to move on to number 4, and I've been saying this for a long time, folks. Number 4, Zac Efron as Dick Grayson, Nightwing. Zac Efron has the acting chops. He can play comedy. He can play drama. He's got abs and he's got glutes and he's got pecs. He's a good-looking kid. He's got all the sex appeal you want with Nightwing. He's got all the acting ability, and he looks like he could beat people up. Not in this picture, but trust me. Watch Neighbors and watch how ripped that kid is. He could play Nightwing. I just print money now, DC. What are you waiting for?
Well, they're waiting for someone to man the ship.
Well, here's John. What do you think about?
Hey, you've started off 2 for 2 for me because I'm a Wolverine and a Robin fan, and I love the character of Dick Grayson. I think it's a phenomenal character. I love his evolution into Nightwing, and yeah, I think he could play all levels of that. He's perfect. He's great casting.
Could he play Rick Grayson?
Nobody should ever have to be suffering through that.
All right, gang, let's get on with the list. We're going to go on to number 3, and this is probably one of my favorite pitches that I have for fan casting. It didn't make the top tier because there's some better choices, but I like the thought of this. Number 3, Nathan Fillion as Booster Gold. Nathan Fillion as Booster Gold. Nathan Fillion's the kind of guy that can throw a punch and you believe it. He's also the kind of guy that can get the girl. He's also the kind of guy that can be funny. And he's also the kind of guy that can be all of those things over the top to the point where you hate him. He's perfect for Booster Gold, but not only is he perfect for Booster Gold, you pair him up with his longtime friend, his buddy, Alan Tudyk, as Skeets. You put Alan Tudyk in the Skeets role. He's perfect for a sarcastic robot. Come on, guys. You all saw that Star Wars Rogue One where he was K2SO. Best part of that movie, man. Alan Tudyk would be a great Skeets, and it would play very well with Nathan Fillion as Booster Gold. John, what do you think about this one?
I love Nathan. I've never not liked Nathan Fillion. I think the guy is hilarious. He's likable. And like you're saying, you can believe him as the hero who saves the day. You can believe him as the guy who screws up time and ruins everything for everybody. The guy is phenomenal. I loved the idea that originally they were looking at him for Wonder Man in the MCU, that he would have been a great Simon. I think he could have killed that role. I'm worried that he keeps getting older and then we keep wanting him to play a younger part. That's the only challenge for Nathan, but I think he could do almost everything.
I don't think that he is too old for the role. I think that he's perfect for the role. You give him some time. You give him those Chris Pratt trainers.
Right.
And you get him slimmed down. Come on, man. He could do it. I know he could do it. You know he could do it, and we all know that Alan Tudyk would do it. So,
oh heck yeah! Or hey, make Alan Tudyk Blue Beetle and put them together, make a movie.
That's not a bad idea either. That right there, John,
that's what I want. I want a
a
gold and blue. That's what I want. I want them together.
I think that everybody so far has thought that these were great casting decisions, and if you didn't, I'm sorry, you're wrong. But there are two that I think are even better than this. We're going to start getting into some lovely ladies. Number 2, Alexandra Daddario as Jessica Dru, the Spider-Woman. Alexandra Daddario is absolutely gorgeous. She's got this down-home quality to her. She's got this cuteness, this sexiness, this humor streak to her as well. She's done well in everything that she's been put into, and I think that if you give her the training and you give her the opportunity, she can carry her own movie or at least be a key figure in another movie in a leading role as Jessica Dru, the Spider-Woman. Oh my God, is she gorgeous? I just want to see her in that costume. John, I mean, I could talk about her acting ability all day. Nobody will believe me. I'm just going to go ahead and go with the obvious. Man, does she look the part.
Right? She's smoking hot. There's just no question. If you guys have seen True Detective, yeah, she is amazing and gorgeous. I don't know that I've ever really loved her in anything else, but I would be curious to see her have the chance to be tougher than what I've seen her in a lot of stuff. And I think that that sort of duplicitous nature of Spider-Woman would be an interesting layer for her to try to play.
I can't wait for them to start doing something with the character of Jessica Dru because I really love her as a character. And another character that I love that I'm pairing with an absolutely lovely actress is up next in our number 1 spot. What could it possibly be? And number 1, Natalie Dormer as Emma Frost, the White Queen. Absolute beauty. A posh smugness. Everything you got out of Natalie Dormer's performance in Game of Thrones could be paired with X-Men. And she could be Emma Frost, the White Queen. Look at this picture, man. She looks great in white. Just bleach her hair blonde. You can even do that in post-production. Just some color correction at this point. And she's absolutely there. This chick is sexy. She is smart. She is strong. She is oozing with femininity. And that is exactly what you want out of Emma Frost. I think that she could absolutely kill this role. John, what do you think, buddy?
Well, obviously, I'm a Game of Thrones and an Emma Frost fan, so I'm down for that. Comic Man Andy, by the way, all over your picks. He is having it. He has taken all of this to the bank. And yeah, I mean, Emma Frost is a tricky character because obviously what she wears in the comics is not what she's going to be wearing in the movies. It's the same with like Scarlet Witch. They're going to definitely tone down the sexuality elements, but I think what you need is the power. And I think what they kind of blew with the casting they had in the previous X-Men films is that actress seemed very fake and flat, and you need an actress with power when they're on screen.
Shout out to Rob Worst. He says that Samara Weaving would be more capable of being Emma Frost. I don't think that's a bad choice either, Rob. But you know, I'm gonna go with Dormer. I think that she's the hottie hotness, and that's the way I'm gonna go with it. John, I mean, I think that I've let my waist down brain handle most of the thinking on my ladies here. But I can't think of a better way to get that done. I think January Jones, you were right, was very wooden in the role. I mean, she looked good on screen, but she was very wooden. I think Dormer has a confidence and a swagger that I think would help her pull something like this off. So, it is what it is. John, that right there was the countdown. I had a lot of fun with it. We're going to move on to our next segment, our final segment of the day. You guys know what time it is. It's time for the question. You guys have heard all my opinions, but who would you fan cast as your favorite character? I know we've all had our own favorite characters. We've all had time to think about it. The MCU being as big as it is, DC trying to keep up with the X-Men movies and their own franchise expanding throughout the years. Everybody's had time to think about it. Who would you cast as your favorite character? John, I'm going to go to you first since you're the guest.
Man, this is a tricky one. I've been thinking about it once I saw that it was your topic this morning. I generally will admit I suck at this, and but if I'm going to go off the wall here, I'm going to go with what about Reggie Collects as the Silver Surfer? I want Reggie's got the
his
voice.
Head's the right shape.
He's got the voice. He's got, you could even like use it. He's ripped. Like Reggie Collects as the Silver Surfer would be the only thing that came to my mind right away. I've always thought like, yeah, Reggie loves the Surfer, but he's got that voice that would totally be badass for that. So yeah, that was the first thing that came to my mind. Obviously, they're trying to get not Vin Diesel, The Rock into the MCU, and I wouldn't mind him as Namor, but he's a little too silly. I think that it's hard to put him into a part because he's gonna want to show his face. He's not gonna want to do the Vin Diesel or the Bradley Cooper.
Now, here's the thing I think about The Rock. Man, I'm gonna take this off of here real quick. We know what we're talking about. Here's the thing I think about The Rock. Okay, I love Rock. Dwayne is one of the greatest, but he has to be Dwayne. I think when you put him into Black Adam, it's going to end up being goofy because he's Dwayne. And that's not a knock on him. I think it's just a knock on him in the genre. I think he would have to be willing to sacrifice and play a smaller part. And I think kind of the perfect part for Rock, all he's got to do is look menacing. All he's got to do is learn how to scream. He should be Black Bolt.
Ooh. Not bad.
He's a guy who can tell stories with his face, right?
Yeah.
So
I think the worry is he always tries to be so campy, and it's like, how do you? Obviously, the director-writer have to tone him down, but
right.
I almost feel like you need a role that is allowing for that layer.
Let's check in with the chat and see where we're at here. John Cena as Nuke. That's a good one there. Scott Evans wants to see Common as the Surfer. I think the Surfer casting in the Rise of the Silver Surfer was dead on.
Solid.
Yeah. Reggie is Silver Surfer. Rob Worst has a hard on for that idea as well. Comics Misexplained. Yes. Fantastic Comics is on for John Cena as Nuke. Seagal would have to get back in shape. And what is this? Seagal is washed up. Who said Seagal?
Chris Barrett wants Seagal to play somebody. He's been talking
I gotta look
for
back
a little
up.
While.
I don't know. Chris Barrett. Who did you want as Seagal?
Man, The Rock as Puck. That's hilarious. Yeah, I think for me the key with getting The Rock, and I think he's really talented. I'd love to see him in the MCU. You just need a role that is only semi-serious. And what I don't mind him as Namor. I don't mind it generally just because I don't freaking like Namor. So I don't mind if they screw that character up a little bit or change that character up a little bit. I just feel like the role they give him is going to need to have that ability to let him be semi-serious and not just
Rock is Beta Ray Bill. I get.
He'll never do that.
But he'd have to be CG, so he's not going to do it.
The
one role that I see The Rock possibly doing, and you put it in Guardians 3, is you make him Gladiator of the Shi'ar Empire.
I love that idea. That's a great idea. And
if you put it in Guardians, it can have that goofy feel to it, and then when you fold it into the larger universe for an event, all you have to do is you show him raging out.
You get him into the X universe or whatever. I mean, obviously, I would love him as Mr. Sinister personally, but like that's like way down the line in the MCU. I mean, he's semi-serious, he's a little goofy, and yet he's menacing and big and gets to do his like eyebrow raise. His eyebrow raise.
I think if you do Sinister, you don't do him big. I think you do him as like a kind of a sniveling kind of guy who you don't see has power. The guy, the guy behind the scenes. But yeah, it is what it is. Jessica Chastain as Tigra. That's a good one.
I'd take Jessica Chastain as anything. She's awesome.
Yeah. Mystic Explain says he needs a sassy Sinister. I mean, now that we've gotten sassy Sinister, yeah, I kind of always want him to be sassy.
Yeah, it's the new version that we're stuck with now.
Right. It's the new status quo, but I'm down with it. RuPaul is Mr. Sinister, says Rob Worst. That is not a terrible idea. I mean, it's a terrible idea, but it's not a terrible idea. I think it's spot on. Matt, what's going on? Boy, you had 7 hopping in the chat. We are talking about our epic fan casts. Do you have any characters that you would fan cast?
Chris Barrett is the one that's Steven Seagal as Craven. I think
that is actually not a bad idea either. Just like a washed up Craven who's just like one last hunt.
Right, exactly. The people who really want that storyline, they don't. I think the only thing that really made that storyline work is that you had all that backstory of who Craven was. I think if you do Craven's Last Hunt as his first appearance in Marvel, I think you've kind of blown that. You've wasted it.
I think you can fill in that exposition via flashback.
Well, I think it's the same thing when people were saying we want Venom in the Spider-Man universe, and we're going to do it all in one movie. And I feel like that's a 3-movie story arc if you do it right, where he gets the suit, he gets rid of the suit, and then somebody else gets the suit. Like I feel like you don't want to do it. You cram that crap into one movie, and you get Spider-Man 3. That's what you get.
I think Spider-Man 3 could have serviced the Venom story if it didn't do the Sandman story. I think doing them both is what hampered it. I think it was just too much overall. It is what it is. Fish Tropic says he needs Spawn. Who would you cast as Spawn? Jamie Foxx? I think that's a terrible idea.
Momoa as Craven. That's fun.
Momoa as Craven is a good idea. I like that. Momoa as just about anybody could work. Yeah, I think he's weighted.
Except Aquaman.
No, Aquaman was good. I mean, it was better than a lot of the other DC stuff they put out. And he was one of the better parts of the Justice League movie as Aquaman. So, I mean, it is what it is. You can't blame him for that.
Yeah, I'm just never going to get over the accent thing. Like, he's always saying dude and cool and awesome. And it's like, that's not how Aquaman talks, so... He's playing him, which is what you're talking about. The Rock.
How does Aquaman talk? It just sounds like Bubbles.
Right. Well, shouldn't it be doing that? Talk about chowder. Shouldn't it be saying chowder?
Maybe. I'm with Chaos. Aquaman was watchable. That's the. I have this idea that like every time my man. Every time Aquaman got to a place where you're like, wait, what the hell's going on? A wall exploded and a fight started. So at that point, it's like you're moving on to the next thing. You don't have time to question the nonsense they just threw at you. You just have to accept it at that point. And I think the pacing of that movie was really good. It was a fun popcorn flick.
Yeah, I like the look of it. Like the production value was amazing. Black Manta looked awesome.
Yeah, and what's his name was in that? Drago. Drago was in that movie. Good old He-Man.
Yep, exactly. The original Punisher.
The original Punisher. Dolph of Lundgren. Nathan Fillion is Eros. That's not a bad idea. I like that too.
Honestly, Nathan Fillion as most anything, you're probably going to get my seal of approval.
You know who I like as Eros is like a little bit more apt to that role because of the way I saw him in Doctor Who and Torchwood is the guy who played Merlin, Malcolm Merlin. Oh, geez, what's his name? Captain Jack. That's going to drive me nuts. Somebody tell me in the chat. Any Doctor Who fans in the chat?
I'm the wrong guy to ask because I'm not a Doctor Who fan.
Do you know the guy who played Malcolm Merlin on Arrow?
I don't watch
John
Arrow either.
Barrowman. John Barrowman. That's his name.
There it is. Seawood. Shout out.
Thanks, Seawood in the chat. I came up with it the moment I saw it as you typed it. So thanks for your help. I think John Barrowman would be good Eros because he kind of has that asexual seduction energy to him. He did the Captain Jack thing where he's kind of like sexuality in the future of that reality or whatever was so fluid at that point. I was like, yeah, it doesn't matter who you're making out with. You just want to make out with somebody. And that was the Captain Jack character. And I think he did a great job. Had a real good energy with that. And I think as Eros, who's kind of like the seductor, that would kind of be a cool energy to see. John Barrowman.
Okay.
Chaos and Comics drank a beer and just got called in the office. Well, you can blame the Comic Core Daily Show for that, sir, because we are here to be a bad influence. Drink another one now. There you go. Aren't they making a Morbius movie? It's already made. It should be coming out like this week or whatever, right? That's the what's his name? Joker. The Joker's playing Morbius now.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys this about the Morbius trailer. I had no interest in seeing this movie, and the trailer actually looked pretty good. I had more interest in seeing it after I saw the trailer, which is not usually the feeling I have with a Sony Spider-Man property movie. Like the Venom trailer didn't get me more hyped for Venom. It got me less hyped for Venom.
I'm really not enjoying the Sony universe overall. So, I mean, I haven't yet to even see Venom. I haven't even watched it.
Ooh, I like this. Marilyn Manson is Null. That would be perfect. David Tennant as Mephisto.
Yeah.
I think Tennant as the Purple Man already was a thing, and I don't think I think you bring him back as the Purple Man in like a psychological thriller movie. I think that's a great way to use him. But you know, it is what it is. Venom, like a turd blowing in the wind.
Good. We'll put that on the poster.
Yep. Well, you know, it is what it is, folks. We did some great fan casting today. We definitely shout out some folks on Instagram who are putting out some great content for Top Variant Tuesday. And we talked about TiVo and the Lords of the Long Box and the story they broke about John Krasinski in the role of Mr. Fantastic and possibly as a director in the MCU. I think I'm happy with where we've gotten this show to at this point, John. I want to remind everybody, load up the replay when this thing loads up and answer the question of the day down below. Also, send me your topics that you want me to talk about on this show, and I'll run down a top 5 about them. It's super easy stuff, gang. Either of those options as a comment on the replay of this video will get you an entry into the chance to win free comics. There's also a poll up on the community tab. At least I hope it's there. Seawood said he's going to put it up. And if you vote in that poll, you give us an answer why in the comments. 5 entries. Easy stuff, gang. I want to give you some free comics. John, what are you going to be doing this week? Where can people find you, and what are you going to be up to?
Well, you know, I'm going to be tomorrow night. I'm on the Comic Core, greatest comic book show ever, and I'm following that up by doing a book club with my man White Whale Comics. We're going to be discussing Descender, volume number 1 by Jeff Lemire. So that'll be on Wednesday. That's
awesome. We're excited to have you here, John. Thank you for being a 3-time co-host. You hold the record at this point. Anybody wants to be a guest host on this show, hit me up. You can do it. If you're around to watch the show, you should be around to participate. If you want to, come on. We'll have you. Thanks so much, John. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Okay, gang, before we get out of here, I want to go ahead and give a couple more shout outs. Comics Misexplained wants us to talk about D's Nuts, so we might do that later. Fish Tropic wants us to talk about the Toxic Crusaders. That's actually not a bad idea either. Man, I want to go ahead and get some more content together for you guys. So I'm going to be looking at all of these awesome comments that you guys are going to be leaving because you promised you were going to do it, and friends keep their promises. So for the Comic Core and for John's Comics with Kids, I'm Dru Manchu saying see y'all next time. Hey gang, make sure you hit that subscription button there. Give this video a thumbs up. And make sure you hit that notification bell. Always going live. And check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching.